This is Tanoa Lynn Poirier, and I want to welcome you to Comm-Unity Conversations on WNN 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. This show is about you. I want to hear your trials and triumphs, challenges and victories, and how you overcome obstacles every day in our dynamic industry. All callers are welcome to join Community Conversations. This is where we'll discuss all things in common. We'll discuss managers, directors, vendors, and owners. Let's elevate the conversation. Raise the bar. Start here, now. Good afternoon, listeners, and welcome to Community Conversations with Tanoa. It's Friday after a long week. Shake it off. Relax. You are going to learn something today, I promise. I want to take some time to say thank you to Trusted Construction. They are a sponsor of today's program, and I want to just remind you, as I have in the past, that Trusted Construction is not a sponsor because they want to sponsor the program. They're a sponsor because I trust them. If you have any work you want done in your home or your community, your clubhouse, an outbuilding, a sports building, Trusted Construction can help you. They can do anything from conception, a dream, something that your engineer has said that you need to accomplish or fix. They can help you. Give them a call, 561-582-5758. And I just want to remind you, listeners, over the course of December and the end of November, I issued a couple of challenges. And that first Hello Tanoa challenge number 1 was, if you're going to post something on social media or repost something or share something that's negative, that maybe not be very nice, but someone might think is funny, if you would just post something positive to even out that balance. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world today, and if we could just kind of consciously strike a balance, that would be amazing. And the second challenge was to try and pay it forward. Be giving during the season, and not just with gifts, but if there's somebody in line, can you help somebody in the drive-through or in the coffee line and buy them a coffee? You will change their day, and it will make you feel great. And challenge number 3 was, if you would consider a charity this year, whatever speaks to your heart. As I mentioned, mine is Blessings in a Backpack, and they provide food for children who otherwise wouldn't eat on the weekends, and they send them home with a backpack so that they have a full belly during the week, and then they usually get some help during the week at school, but when they go home, there's nothing to eat sometimes. So you choose your own. If you can't give any money, give some time. If you can't give time, give a smile or a compliment. So just try to be a blessing to somebody during this season. It's a really tough time for people. They have lost loved ones, may be struggling. It's a kind of stressful period, so let's do what we can to help each other out. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to somebody I am crazy about. His name is Brian Lynott. He's a senior vice president with AmTrust Bank. He's been in the banking business for over 25 years, and he is going to teach us about financial fraud awareness. Particularly right now, it is a timely topic, but he's got so much to share, so I'm going to shut my mouth and introduce you. Welcome, and hello, Brian.
Hello, Tanoa.
Hello, and thank you for agreeing to come as usual. I'm super excited because we had a little conversation, and I know he's got a lot to share. So if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from,
Yep.
and a little bit about your history, and then help us to understand, what's going on with financial fraud and how we can be aware of some of these things. So
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
My name is Brian Lynott. I'm originally from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I got into banking 25 years ago in the Northeast and had a great opportunity to move to Florida here. Married here, have a wife and 2 teenage daughters,
Wow.
Which keeps me very busy. And, I've been in the banking industry for 25 years. I work for AmTrust Bank here in Boca Raton. We have 27 locations here in Florida, and we have over 260 throughout 5 states. Great bank. And so that is pretty much a little bit of my history.
Terrific. So you'll see below Brian's image, there is some information about how you can reach out to him. And after we come back in the second half, I'm going to tell you, community association managers and boards, if you are looking for a new financial partner, or you just want to make sure that you are getting the best rates and service just giving them a call and letting them tell you what they can offer you may be the good thing to do. So we're going to discuss more of that after the break. And so, Brian, if you would help, and I do want to give you most of the time during this season. We know that people are distracted and there's a lot going on, and you've had some experience through banking to know how the bad things end up.
Yes.
And so would you just be kind enough to help us understand what's going on and how we can be aware of some of the financial fraud?
Yep. Unfortunately, it's everywhere in the United States, but it's more prevalent here in South Florida, particularly with our seniors. But really, anyone could be a victim, including myself. So the statistics are increasing, the numbers of people that are victimized by financial fraud. But before we kind of talk a little bit about some of the financial crimes happening out there, I thought it may be just a good opportunity to talk about just some common sense things, because we have the holidays coming up, and I think it's important for people to be vigilant, be aware of their surroundings.
Right.
And so, one of the things, it's even out of the financial services side, people are shopping. It's the holiday season.
Right.
Be aware of your surroundings in the parking lots, the malls. Lock up your valuables. If you leave shopping bags in your car, it's easy prey.
Right.
So make sure you lock up in the trunk if you're going shopping. Any valuables that you have, don't leave any valuables in your car. Don't leave your car door unlocked. Those are just some sound things that we should be doing all the time. Right. But criminals are looking for those packages right now.
Right.
So that is important.
Those are opportunity crimes,
yes.
Right? So they'll just go and check the doors and see who at the mall and whose isn't locked. And then they'll just help themselves to your Christmas gifts. Don't let that happen. This is great advice.
Yep, yeah, definitely. And, talking about that and the car and valuables, there's another scam going on right now at the gas stations. And we have the problems with the skimmers, which we'll talk about in a moment. But you brought up a good point that I wanted to bring up is the distractions at the gas stations when people are pumping the gas. We're seeing an upswing in that, where you're pumping the gas, you're leaving your passenger door unlocked.
That's
right. Yeah, and it's happening a lot in the area. I know we didn't chat about it.
No, but you're right.
But that has happened recently. And so making sure when you pump your gas, when you get out of the car, lock your car door. Bring your keys out with you. Lock your car door on the other side, so that they can't gain access. That's the number one thing, because they're looking for the cell phones, they're looking for the bags, and while you're pumping, you don't even know what happened.
You know what? We have our pocketbooks or handbags on the seat next to us, because it's easy access for our cell phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just turn your head and somebody will literally, and this has actually happened to somebody we both know.
Yes.
And they reach in, they take the bag and gone. And then you go back and you can't find it, and it happens so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, definitely. So
that's good.
Another thing at the gas stations which is going on is it is somewhat financial services. It's the ATM debit card swipes. Okay, so what they're doing is it's the skimming that's going on out there. What they're doing is they're putting in skimmers. Some of them are attached to the credit card swipe. Suggestion: when you go to pump your gas, lightly tug at the swiper, because in some instances they actually put a mechanism on it. At the bank we have to inspect our ATMs 3 times a day. And we look for those. But what happens is it's like a little. So if you tug at it, if it's not, you can almost see that it's a device.
That's crazy.
It is. But what they're also doing is they're getting real tricky now, because they're actually putting in some like a Bluetooth type of technology where they could actually. It's a very small device, so you almost can't detect it.
That's unbelievable.
So you got to be really aware. On that one, it's almost uncontrollable. But most of the gas stations now have the tamper devices, where there's like a seal, and you should look for that at the gas station. And
This is good.
If you see that seal broken, it's probably a sign that something sinister is probably going on. I would suggest going into the gas station, making the attendant aware of it. You could even call the police if you feel comfortable, because chances are there may be a skimming device in there.
Right.
So be aware of that. That's happening big time. We had talked about people going away for the holidays.
Right.
People are traveling, going to Disney, people are going to New York, people are going for a few days, you're going on a cruise.
This is good.
Be very careful of what you post on Facebook. It's an opportunity. If you're going to post that you're away in photos, you're far away, think about it. You're easy prey. Your house is unattended. So my suggestion is when you're going away on vacation, that's not only the holidays, that's throughout the year. Whenever you're going away, don't post it until you get back.
Right. And you know, you do this.
Yep.
If you're listening, you know you do that because you want to share your life with your social media friends.
Yep.
But what you're also doing is a big neon saying, we're away and we're far away. And whether somebody's watching your home, you can find wherever anyone's living with a simple search.
Yep.
So they'll just
So
see your
easy.
name. They know what city you're in, and they can pretty much narrow it down. So this is huge. Share those pictures when you return, not before you go, because you are giving, basically, you're inviting trouble.
Yep.
So that is a really good one. Please, yes,
Yep.
pay attention to that
And
one.
then one other thing, a little bit on the financial side, we had a recent hurricane. You know, we were all impacted, you know, with a hurricane.
Yes.
And we all have, a lot of us had damage to the roof, the air conditioning, so a lot, even normally, even if we didn't have the hurricane, people have work done on their homes.
Right.
Be aware when you allow anyone in your home. First of all, make sure that they're announced. Make sure that you know who's coming. So always keep your front door locked. But when a contractor, anyone gains access to your house, there's a lot of great contractors out there. Trust me, and there's a lot of great people out there. But it does happen. We've seen instances where contractors have come into homes. They've come in pairs or three. They distract the homeowner. The homeowner then the homeowner may have the checkbook out. And they can either take checks out of the checkbook, jewelry out of the jewelry box, your debit card, your ATM card, and it could happen that quickly, and they know how to distract you. So just be aware of contractors coming in and lock everything up. Treat everything like a stranger is coming in your house to potentially do some harm. I hate to say that.
Because a stranger is coming in your house, right?
Absolutely.
Now, this is also really good because this is something that you don't think about. Now, you've done all your due diligence and you're thinking, well, I hired somebody, they were recommended to me, but you don't know them, they're showing up. And here's the thing, they may take, and we kind of talked about this, what if they took a couple of checks from the back of your checkbook? So you're just going along, you won't notice that until you get to the end. In the meantime, they are helping themselves to your account, and it ends up in sort of the banking system processing those checks with Brian. So act as if a stranger is coming into your home because there is a stranger coming into your home.
And it's unfortunate, and then sometimes it's too late when it happens.
It's too late when it happens.
So those are just some of the common sense things outside of financial services that have come up, that are just common sense. The hurricane, the holidays, just that we had talked about, that we thought was important.
It really is. And if we just can recap that for the first half of the show, it is busy. You're getting to the mall, you're trying to get a good parking space, you're not paying attention. And so make sure that when you press that button, your car is locked. And then when you want to sort of lighten your load after you've gotten a lot of packages, put them in the trunk or a place where they can't be seen. If somebody sees something on your seat, they're going to try to take the opportunity to help themselves to it. So be careful with that. You're inviting somebody in your home, whether it's a contractor or somebody you know, protect your valuables, put them away, don't leave them out where they can be seen, and kind of have somebody keep an eye on where your contractor is and what they're doing. They come in and they want to use the restroom, etc. You know, you just have to be more vigilant. It's a different world.
Absolutely.
And when you are at the ATM, or banks typically are onto this, so AmTrust checks their ATMs 3 times a day to make sure there is no issue. But gas stations, particularly on an end of the gas station at night where it's dark, where maybe the attendant isn't watching, these skimmers get applied. Or now I'm just learning that they use a Bluetooth device. It's incredible, and you won't know it until you start getting the charges on your card. So those are 3 amazing. He's taught me so much already about just being vigilant myself personally. So please take heed to this. And the last one, super important, your social media. I know you want to share your life, and that's what social media is for. But listen, if you are telling people that you're going to be gone for a week in Hawaii and you're sending those pictures, they know you're there. And guess what? They know no one's home, and they're going to try to take an advantage of an opportunity to commit a crime. So please protect yourself. Those are all really good tips. We are going to take a quick break. And after the break, we're going to talk about some more financial fraud awareness, kind of cybercrime and other areas that are a bit scary, but he's going to help us out with some tips. I'll see you back here in 2. What is on everyone's mind these days when they think of starting a project in their home or community? Where can I find a qualified, certified, and licensed contractor I can trust? Allow me to introduce you to Trusted Construction. They have provided expert construction and roofing services in South Florida since 2009. Trusted Construction has earned a reputation for superior, consistent, dependable service. Trusted Construction will guide you from project conception to completion. Call 561-582-5758. Tell them Tanoa sent you. Hello, listeners. It's Tanoa Lynn from Community Conversations. Did you know I authored a book called 365 Tips for Community Association Managers, Property Managers, and Property Owners? Yep, I did. The book is filled with little, bite-sized morsels that may help anyone working and living in any community. From working with difficult people to building consensus for big projects. There is something in it for everyone. 365 Tips is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can also go online to hellotanoa.com. That's hello, Tanoa.com. Welcome back. This is Tanoa Lynn Poirier with Community Conversations. And I want to remind you that this show is about you. If you'd like to join the show, you can call us at 888-565-1470. Let's get back to the show. Okay, we got it. Welcome back. We were chatting. I'm so impressed with what we've learned so far. I know you're getting something out of this, and I certainly appreciate you joining me. I want to remind you that AmTrust Bank and Brian Lynott and his team are true professionals. And if you are a community association manager, board, a self-managed community, and you are not completely satisfied with your banking relationship or your rates that you're getting for your money market or investments, now's a good time to think about changing at the beginning of the year. Give Brian a call or email him and let him know that you just would like an evaluation, just want to know whether or not you're doing all of the right things. Let him compare his services and rates and fees to your current banking, and you might be very pleasantly surprised. So I want to welcome Brian Lynott back.
Yes, thank you.
And we learned some really good things at the beginning of the show, and he's going to help us with some other scams that kind of happen often online, but not necessarily.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Well, the big one that's happening right now that we're seeing is the phishing. And we're not talking about deep ocean sea fishing like that.
Yes,
That's fun. This is not fun.
Right. No,
it's
this is not fun.
It's the phishing phishing.
Right.
And what happens is you get it. Where we're seeing it more is in emails, where you're getting an email and it looks like it's coming from a legitimate source. So, for instance, it looks like it's coming from a bank. They are able to. It looks like the bank logo. It looks like a request from your bank.
Right.
And what they're normally doing is they're going to be asking you, you either have a fee or you have a charge or you have something where they're requesting personal information.
Ugh.
So you click
Should
on
never
it,
happen.
you click on the link,
Right.
and all of a sudden when you pull it up, it looks like the bank logo, the bank site. And one of the things you could do is you could take your mouse and hover over the email on your inbox, and it will tell you where it's coming from.
No way.
Yeah, you
okay,
can see.
repeat that.
So when you the email address,
Yes.
when you open up the email, you could hover your mouse over the email, and it will literally tell you where the email address is. And generally, if it's coming from a bank, it's going to say www.nycb AmTrust Bank. You'll see where it's coming from another server, like another email address completely.
A personal person trying to steal your money.
Yeah.
That is so good.
The one we got
Brian.
had an EDU address, which was coming from a college. So just so you know, the one that we had was from Apple. My daughters use Pandora. I do. My wife does. I got an email from Apple saying you purchased the Pandora upgrade for $100. Click here if you would like. If this is a legitimate charge, and it looked like it was from Apple.
Right.
I fell for it. I went up, but the second I hit it, all of a sudden it was asking for my social security number. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't right. So I knew enough, exit out, get out of it. So I called Apple. They're like, yeah, it was a complete scam. They were phishing for information.
Unbelievable.
So rule of thumb, if you are getting an email, a text,
Wow.
make sure if they're asking for personal information, no bank is going to do that. Apple is not going to do that. No one's going to do that. They already have a lot of that information already. So it's a scam. And once you hit that submit button, your identity has been taken. And they could do some serious damage.
In a short period of time.
Very short period of time.
And also, they're not going to come and visit you at home.
No,
Right.
no. There's an incident in South Florida where they're saying that you've been recently, we're calling from your bank, and you had your debit card compromised, your credit card compromised, we're going to come to your house and we're going to actually, make sure we get your debit card, put the stop on it, give you a new debit card, credit card. They come to your house, you let your guard down. They actually come to your house. These are not bank employees.
Okay, bankers don't pay house calls.
No.
I think first clue, okay, red flag,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unless you would call the bank and say, I want to do this. That's
I'm
the only time.
incapacitated. I need a special accommodation. Would you mind? But they're not going to come and offer and say, "Hey, we're going to come over and get your personal information and do your banking."
Yeah, and that one's very specific to South Florida. They're saying debit card, credit card has been compromised, and they ask, and they actually will quote bank employee names. They'll do the They'll go to the bank. They'll walk in and they'll look at bank employee names at the bank, and they'll go to that area. Knowing the bank employee names. Yeah.
Sneaky. That's so sneaky.
It is very sneaky.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
It's something that we all need to be aware of. And that one is definitely targeted more towards seniors.
I can imagine because they would welcome an accommodation like that and they think, well, isn't that nice?
Yeah, and a lot of them may be unable to go to the bank, or be able to do that. So that does happen.
Insane. That's insane.
Yeah, and since we're on the senior one, I'll bring one more senior one up. Is the distressed grandparent, where they're getting a call from a loved one saying, the police have arrested somebody, or the grandchild is in trouble, but don't call the mom and dad. But I need my money wired. I need to post bail, bond. I need money. I'm in distress. And it is completely not true. So my best advice on that one is if you get a call like that and a family member is in distress and they're asking for money, call your grandchild.
Right, call the family member.
You probably have their phone number. Call them up and see how they're doing, because we had that happen, and we called the grandchild was, I'm in college. I'm at Columbia. I'm not in Canada. I didn't get arrested for drug charges.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This happens. Now, I will tell you that this works, that grandparents thinking their grandchild is in distress would do anything, would move any
You're
mountain,
protecting them.
would give any credit card to get their child out of trouble. And if they make up a story and they are trained to kind of take your speech and feed you information so that you'll give them information and you'll give them names and you'll say, is this, you don't sound like Johnny. Oh, well, it's John. They didn't even know your grandson's name necessarily, but you're helping them with the story, and they get credit card numbers.
Oh, yeah. They'll get money. They'll ask for money to be wired to a location. So, yes, and so bank employees, we have to be aware of this and talk to customers through it. And so, yeah, we all have to be aware of that. And if you're older, you have grandchildren, or you're even a parent, understand that your parent who's a grandparent may be victim of this. We all have to be kind of aware of this going on.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So we want to just maybe leave the listeners with a few things they can do, additional things they can do to protect themselves.
Yeah, because prevention is what we want, right? So we don't want this happening.
If you can, right.
One of the things I would recommend is whether you get paper statements or online, but I would recommend online banking. I'll tell you that. And it's a great feature, mobile banking, online banking. We have very good firewalls in place so that fraud doesn't take place with online banking. But pull your bank statements, your credit card statements regularly, at least once a week on your bank statements. Credit card statements, you get them once a month. But if you sign up online with them, you could pull up any transactions. Right. Because what happens is Regulation E is a regulation that protects any type of electronic transaction, including credit card, debit type of transactions. And you have up to 60 days to file a claim and be able to do that. So if you look at your bank statements and you're seeing this and you're seeing the activity, if you spot it quickly, you'll get your money back. The bank will get restitution on that for you. But you have to be aware and you have to be on it. If you wait too long, you may lose the protection.
That is huge. So Brian is encouraging online banking as just a convenience, but also it's a preventative measure. You have to wait till the end of the month, till the month closes before you get your bank statement.
Yeah.
And you, you may not be able to tell that that's already happened because you're like, well, I have a couple weeks. I'm going to open that and we'll see. If you're monitoring on your mobile device or your computer weekly, you have a better chance with this Reggie of getting your money back.
And you can set up dollar limits on online banking, too, to say if a transaction happens $500 more, it can notify you.
Wow.
So that's really good.
Do you have anything else that you might be able to share?
Yeah, just, never provide anybody passwords, personal information. Just be on the lookout. Call the bank. If something happens, react. call the police. We need a police report if something should happen. It's not only important for that, but we need to share that information. And, consider you may have to, if you are a identity theft and you're a victim, you may need to lock your credit. That may be something you need to do. I had to do that.
Wow, that's so scary. So just think of all the information we've gotten today. It's kind of mind-boggling in the short amount of time, but it's huge. So protect your passwords. If possible, change them regularly. I know that that's a pain, that you have to kind of remember them, but you want to make sure that you do everything to protect yourself. Online banking, that is something you can do. You don't have to wait for your statements. You can look at your activity, and if you suspect something's going on, Reg E, which I guess is the federal government protects that. Is that right?
It covers electronic transactions. Yep.
So if you, within the 60-day period of time, if you report it, you'll get your money back. So that's really important. And also mobile banking is convenient. And then the phishing, PH phishing, is where people are going to send you an email that looks authentic. And you're going to click on because they're going to say, we need to update your records. Your debit card may have been compromised. Some people, you've inherited money. You've won a lottery that you never entered, etc. And it looks official, but it's not. So you click on there, and if anybody's asking for personal information, birthday, social security number, address, any of that information, your bank should already know that. And if somebody calls you from the bank and says, we're going to come by and give you the debit card or some card or something that you may have lost, probably not legitimate, right?
Not at all.
Probably not legitimate, because bankers don't typically do house calls unless asked. So much great information today. Again, you can find Brian Lynott at AmTrust Bank. Information will be on the screen. You'll be able to see this later. It'll be on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was fun. It goes like that, lightning fast.
Listeners, thank you for joining me. Thank my sponsor, Trusted Construction. You need them. Call them, 561-582-5758. It's been my pleasure. I'll see you next time. We're going to talk about positivity with my buddy Tom Willis. See you next time. Be a blessing to somebody. See ya. You have been listening to Community Conversations with Tanoa Lynn Poirier. It is my honor to host this program, and I appreciate you listening. We have an exciting show planned for you next week, so mark your calendars and join me every Friday at 5 p.m. on WNN 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. We look forward to hearing from you, our listeners. It's all about learning, sharing, and teaching. We're all in this together. Until next time, be a blessing to someone and endeavor to persevere.